Hi everyone, it's Megan from Sew and Tell. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a separating zipper from continuous zipper tape. So for those of you that don't know, you can buy zipper tape on a roll and buy as long as you need. It's used a lot in bag making, so they don't have the need for stops and bits and pieces because it's sewn in. The advantage of continuous zipper tape is you can choose your own zipper pulls. So I'm a massive Harry Potter fan, so I like having Harry Potter ones. Plus I made my daughter a fairy bread jacket that meant we could have a fairy bread pull. The zipper pull options are endless. There's so many cool suppliers out there. I can tag some of these in the comments below. Yeah, basically you have your zipper tape, and what we are going to make is a separating zipper so that you can install it in jackets and other bits and pieces. I think that's upside down. So yeah, and then you just can pop it back in, and there you go. There's your separating zipper. So a few things that we need. The fork is more if you are going to be putting your pull on a continuous zipper. So for something like this is size 3 zipper tape. So there's commonly two sizes sold, size 3 and size 5. So size 3 is the smaller one, size 5 is the larger. I tend to use size 5. I think it's just that little bit chunkier, and it is generally sold a nylon coil. Nylon is just obviously a plastic, and it makes it a lot easier to work with and be able to cut. The other tools you'll need some wire cutters, some pliers, scissors, super glue, a lighter to tie off any ends, your zipper pulls, whichever one you're going to use, a seam ripper or unpicker. And then this is sort of the most important bit. This is the box stop and zip part, pin, box stop and pin. So they should have written on the side whether it's right or left. So this one says 5R. So it's for size 5 tape, and it's a right-handed one. So yeah, that's the box stop and pin. And then you can also get these, which are zipper stops for the top of the zipper so that they don't come off for these bits, but they aren't super important. You can just sew back and forth or sew it into your seams. Okay, so I'm going to try it with this one. It's a pretty cool galaxy one. I think I got it from Online Bag Supplies or Dreamy Bag Hardware. I can't remember. Again, I'll tag some of my favorite bag suppliers in the comments. But I'm straight up just going to just seal off the ends so that we don't get too much fraying. But the important part about getting the nylon zipper tape is so that you can easily take the coils out. So what you need to do, you just need, it's hard to tell, but there is actually a piece of cording that's thread underneath the coils. So you've got your tape, you've got a coil, a piece of words are failing me. You've got, okay, I just had to edit out a bit then because I was stuck for words. But you have your zipper tape, your nylon coiling, and then you've got a piece of cord that runs through the middle of the coil. So what we're going to do is just start to get our seam ripper, and you'll be able to see that it's sewn on. So we want to take off, I think it's like 5 or 6 coils. We'll be able to check in a minute. We're just going to pull that away. Sorry if the video is kind of going in and out. Alright, so we're just going to check that. Now we want this part to be at the front. I did install one with this at the back, which doesn't really matter. It's just that that's the back, and it says, you know, that it's the 5 part and the right side. So we want this on the front. So we're just going to check that that fits. So we might go 1 or 2 more. It doesn't matter if it's hanging over the edge a little bit. I know some people like a really snug fit, but I would rather take some extra off and trim it later than not enough. So let's see. Yep, so I'm happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cutters and just trim right where we've stopped unpicking. I'll see if I can get the middle part out to show you. Yeah, so see how there is, oh, it's not focusing on it. There is a bit of sort of tape cord that's through the middle. All right, so we'll just clean it up a little bit. Snip that cord that got stuck. Now we're going to seal it off again. Give it a bit of a seal. There we go. So now we have a nice clean end of tape. So we've got that bit that's clean here, and then we've got that started. So now is the tricky bit. Don't be disheartened if you get it wrong or it's fiddly. I've done a few now, and I can tell you my first were horrible. So what you want to do is get your super glue, and you just want to dab here. Just trying to make sure it gets in focus. Try not to get it on the teeth too much. It will soak in. And then I like to get the pliers and try to sort of really butt it up under the, like right up against this first coil. So that will help you later. So get a little bit more and really just slide that on there. Okay, you can then, see, it's a bit tricky. Got to work quickly so that it doesn't come off. All right, so I'm just going to leave that for the minute. Let that dry a little bit, and we'll work on the other one. So while that's working. Okay, so we get our other side. I'm going to take off roughly the same amount. So again, we're just going to kind of split it apart a little bit. And go down a bit. I know there's other methods where they clip the each coil, and I tried that, but honestly I find this just as easy. So we get our pin and see how that's looking for fit. So fiddly. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit more. So I might just go one more. Yep, pull it back. And I will get my side cutters. And again, I'm clipping basically right where I stopped. pulling it out, making sure it's nice and clean. And we will seal that off. All right, so we've got our nice clean end again. Just make sure, double check that it fits. Yep, so again, we want to make sure this is kind of butted right in under there. So we will get our super glue, put a good amount just there. But again, we're trying not to get it too much in the teeth because that would be bad. Get our pin. They are very fiddly. I'm going to have to... And then we're putting it on here. So again, we're going to just push this one right up here. Make sure it's right in there. Kind of done it a bit funny, but just make sure it's right in there. And you've got to be careful with the super glue because otherwise you can get your fingers stuck, which I have done, and it's not fun. So yeah, so we want to kind of make sure that is butted in up against there. And oh, this is why it's tricky. Somewhat straight. So once we're happy with that, we can clamp it down and put a little bit more glue under there. But again, we're trying to be careful about not getting any on the teeth. So we clamp it down. Great. All right, let's go back and have a look at this one. So this one's got become a little bit more stuck now. So that's good, that's under there. Now, I know when we buy store-bought jackets, this bit is quite stiff and that helps put it on. So what I do is I just put a little bit of super glue here. On this side, just at the ends, it just gives it that stiffness, which will help you when you're putting the jacket on. So just to each side. You don't have to go too overboard because it does soak in, but just gives it that little bit of thing. So I will leave these here to dry and I will come back in half an hour and see how we're going. But yeah, so this is the stiffness of the other one. So hold that thought. Okay, so it has been about half an hour. These are now quite stiff. I don't know if you can tell, but they are quite stiff. So now what I'm going to come along and do is just clip it back to the ends. Might be a little bit tricky to get in there, but no one's going to know. We'll just seal it off a little bit again. That's my dog. Again, so just clip it off, looking good, back to where it is, seal it off. Okay, so we have our two ends. They should slot in like so. Now we get our zipper pull. So that's actually a size 3 zipper pull. I don't know if you can tell the difference. The size 3 is smaller than the size 5, obviously. So let's get a star. Why not? So you then get your zipper pull and pop it on one side. You feed it through. We might actually seal these ends as well. So we're feeding that through like so. Now the first few times you do this, it will probably be very stiff. It takes a few times to really get it working easily. So we put it down there. Get your pin side, feed it down, and it is really, really tough to do the first couple times, which is why it's important to try not to get super glue in the teeth. There we go. But as you can see, it's quite tricky. So some of that I think is because one of the coils has popped out, so we might have to address that. Just there, the coils popped out a bit. So I might even just clip that back a little bit. Like so, and I'll just again seal it off. So we'll try again. So we've got our zip down there, feed it through, make sure it's all aligned. That's much better. So yeah, and you can see we now have a working separating zipper pull, like so. Now, like I mentioned before, you can use these zipper stops to pop up the top if you want the zipper to stop. I'll seal this one off as well. Otherwise, you can just sew them in. But otherwise, that is how. So the zipper stops to stop it coming all the way off. Oops. Oop, I'll just pull it off. Yeah, you can then just unzip it like so. Yeah, have a few goes. Like this is probably the, I don't know, the 5th or 6th one that I've done. The zipper, the box stops and pins, there are a few places you can get them. I think I got mine from So Unique. They are an Australian company in Brisbane, I think. She sells them a set, the zipper, box, stop, and the stoppers as a set. I think it's about $3 a set. But there are other places you can get them. I think I got some off Etsy maybe. I'm pretty sure I got a 50 pack of the zipper stops, I don't know, for a couple of dollars off eBay maybe. Yeah, any questions, please pop them below. I am happy to try and answer where possible, but hopefully that answers your questions on how to make a separating zipper. Thanks guys.